Risky behavior.
The views and opinions expressed on this channel are solely those of the host and guest and are intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. This channel does not promote bias, hatred, or discrimination of any kind. All questions posed and thoughts shared are part of a critical thinking exercise and are not meant to offend or judge any individual or group. We encourage respectful dialogue and love for all. Please remember to think critically and engage thoughtfully. We aim to foster a positive and inclusive community where everyone feels welcome. Thank you for being a part of Risky Behavior ENT.
Risky behavior.
Yo, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to Risky Behavior. I am your host, Mr. Diabolical himself. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Shannon Sharpe. I'm not going to give my views and opinion or if I think he's innocent or guilty. Usually I just like to wait till the case comes out and get all the details, for myself and just see how things go. I don't think we have all the evidence, all the text messages, all the audio, or even some video that may come out in the court case. But in this video, I do feel like Shannon Sharpe is a victim and it might throw a couple of people off, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to prove it when I do this video. If you're coming into the building, if you're watching this on replay or live, please thumbs up the video, put me in the algorithm. I got some clips, I got some articles, and we're going to run through this. I guess for anybody who's been hiding under a rock. Here we go. But yes, my statement in this video is Shannon Sharpe is a victim.
Welcome back. And tonight, the legal troubles for NFL Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe, they are growing as his legal team pushes back against new and resurfaced allegations. Sharpe is facing a new civil lawsuit filed last week, but it's also drawing attention to a separate defamation lawsuit filed against him in 2023 by Michelle Bundy Evans. Evans previously accused Sharpe of sexual assault dating back to 2010. Allegations his attorney calls fanciful exaggerations and blatant misrepresentations. Sharpe's legal team says both claims are part of a coordinated effort to exploit his fame, and they plan to fight back with evidence in court. Well, on Thursday, the retired NFL star announced he's temporarily stepping away from his role at ESPN.
So there you have it. Shannon Sharpe being sued. And I always like to bring up an article and read it. It's the boring part of the video. I know everybody's on into the video, the news, but I like to read things myself. All right. Here we go. All right. Here's article for the New York Times.com. Of course, anybody can look this up themselves. Shannon Sharpe accused of rape in $50 million lawsuit denies allegations. A Nevada woman is suing Hall of Fame tight end and media personality. And Hall of Fame tight end is hilarious, when you realize what he's accused of. And media personality Shannon Sharpe for more than $50 million, alleging he raped and threatened her during a 2-year relationship. The lawsuit filed Sunday in the Las Vegas District Court by attorney Tony Busby, and there's a lot of crazy stuff surrounding his name. They call him kind of like an ambulance chaser, and some people accuse him of only going after powerful or perceived to be powerful black men. But anyway, seeks damages for pain and suffering, psychological and emotional distress, mental anguish, embarrassment, and humiliation. Sharpe, age 56, denied the allegations Tuesday in a video statement on X, which I prefer to say Twitter, calling the lawsuit a shakedown and pledging to defend himself. The woman identified in the complaint. Let me see. I had to check something real quick. The woman identified in the complaint as Jane Doe alleges Sharpe first approached her while she was working out at a Los Angeles gym in January of 2023. She did not know who Sharpe was at the time, but the lawsuit said the pair soon began a consensual but deeply manipulative relationship. Oh, they throw that word in there. Over the next 2 years, the suit said Sharpe became increasingly controlling and physically abusive, choking and hitting Doe on multiple occasions. Sharpe allegedly threatened to kill Doe numerous times for resisting his sexual advances and accusing him of infidelity. According to the lawsuit, Sharpe raped Doe twice in October of 2024 and again in January of 2025. Remember those dates. It also accuses, and I say remember those dates because it seems like though there were some risque text messages sent also within those dates where Jane Doe wanted some things from Sharpe, but it seems like she's also saying that she didn't want things. My bad, my phone was ringing. But yeah, those dates are important because some text messages came through that a lot of people are questioning, like, well, if you said these dates, it wasn't consensual, but also you sent text messages during these dates saying that you wanted something. It's kind of weird. It also accuses Sharpe of repeatedly recording the two having sex without Doe's knowledge or consent. Busby released, and Busby is the lawyer, the Jane Doe's lawyer, released a brief audio clip to several media outlets, and I got that. I'm gonna play maybe one of those. Tuesday, in which Sharpe allegedly said he will choke Doe if she accuses him of manipulating her. In a conference call later that day, Sharpe's attorney, Lainey Davis, said the audio was edited in a warped and distorted way. Davis said Sharpe offered Doe at least $10 million to settle the case before she filed the lawsuit, but she declined because she wants the big bucks. Although I did listen to, you know what? I listened to Whack 100 on Clubhouse talk about this, and he had a very good point, which was, why would you file the lawsuit before the $100 million deal got on the table? That's crazy. You should have waited for him to get the $100 million deal, then file the lawsuit so you can get the 50 mil. I think that would be more intelligent. That would be smart of a person to do that. That's what they did to Nelly when his old people from the Saint Lunatics, remember, they wait for him to get the deals and the money, then they came and sued. You gonna crash his $100 million deal, then come and try to say 50 million. Come on, man. That's not how it's supposed to be done. But they jumped the gun. Shout out to WPJ. He says, if he did it, he should pay. If he didn't, and she is lying trying to get the bag, she should pay and be charged with the crime of false grape charge, which itself should be a felony. You know what? I was listening to an interview. I don't know if it's a felony or not, and I don't know if it's in every single state, but TK Kirkland actually had that happen to him. He had a woman falsely accuse him, and they actually charged her for filing a false grape charge, and she got in trouble. But I don't know. And here's the thing, and PJ, I definitely agree with you. And here's the thing, though. I think that the same way you will punish a person for committing that crime, I think for falsely accusing someone of committing that crime, your punishment should be just as intense as what would happen to the guy that you falsely accused if he was convicted and found guilty. All right, so now I'm about to play a video. Let's see. This is on YouTube. Anybody want to look up this YouTube channel? Shout out to Fox 26 Houston. Okay. There we go. I'm like, man, it froze on me.
And welcome back to the Factor Uncensored, former athlete and media personality now, Shannon Sharpe, is attempting to clear his name after facing a lawsuit for allegedly raping a woman on multiple occasions. His response revealing the name of the accuser and some very X-rated text messages he says he received from her. All right, let's take a look at this. According to the lawsuit, the anonymous woman says it began as a consensual relationship when she was 20 years old. She also accuses Sharpe of a violent sexual assault and rape in October of last year and again in January of this year. The complaint seeks more than $50 million in damages. Sharpe fired back, posting alleged texts from the woman in the lawsuit on social media. One of them reads, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me." Another, "I know you miss this big juicy ass, $25,000 for each cheek." And here's another alleged text, "You better crave it cuz you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me."
And this is some freaky, kinky stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and say this now. A part of when I was reading through all this stuff and watching these videos, I get the idea that this wasn't just some regular sexual relationship. If you, when reading this and listening to everything, I think this was a kink relationship. I think these two was in a freaky kink relationship. And man, oh man, if you're gonna be in one of those with somebody, it better be somebody you trust, right? Because if you in a freaky kink relationship and it goes sideways and that person releases audio or releases text messages, it's gonna look bad. Because all they gotta say is, "I didn't want this." And you like, wait a minute, we was role playing. They like, no, we wasn't. This person forced it on me, and it's always going to look like that because you're doing these type of freaky kink talking with somebody you can't really trust. I mean, he's over 30 years older than this young woman. You know, young people are irrational. Come on, man. You can't be having these type of freaky kinky relationships with, number one, somebody you can't trust, number two, somebody that's younger than you and prone to be immature.
The rest are way too spicy. I don't know what's left. Joining us to talk about it, defense attorney and former Harris County prosecutor by O.J. King and Factor Digital producer Diabolical to talk about this case. So your thoughts about this, just looking at it from the outside, your thoughts?
It's a big mess for Shannon Sharpe. You know, Tony Busby is on this case, right? And
he's a Houston-based attorney. Been here on The Factor several times.
Yes, and we've seen him file several lawsuits against the likes of P. Diddy, against Jay-Z, which was recently dismissed. And now here we go again against Shannon Sharpe. What sticks out to me, however, is the context of the allegations are different from what you would see on some of these other cases like Diddy, right? Or Cosby, who was putting in date rape drugs in several victims' drinks. In this case, she's saying this is a consensual relationship. We had a lot of consensual sex, and on these 2 or 3 separate occasions, it just so happens that it wasn't consensual. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that that's not a thing and that these situations still happen within the context of consensual relationships, but I do think it's going to be a lot difficult to prove it because it begs the question, if it happened one time in October of 2024, how did it then happen again in January of 2024? If it happened at your apartment, as she's alleging, who did you tell? Did you speak to the apartment landowners? Did you call 911? Did you go to the hospital? So there's a concern about provability. And then to add another layer of what might impugn her credibility are the supposed text messages that Shannon Sharpe has. Mm-hmm. These text messages suggest that she was more of the one initiating these encounters.
The aggressor, well, not aggressor as in crime, but right. In the relationship.
Yes, initiating the sexual encounter, and that in some cases was even soliciting saying sex in exchange for cash, 25,000 per cheek. If that is proven to be coming from her, it's really going to undermine the credibility of her allegations. So that being said, even if this is not a case that Tony Busby can prove by the preponderance of the evidence, I am concerned about the hit that it has on Shannon Sharpe as a public figure. Because let's say this goes to trial, then there's going to be a lot of public scrutiny of Shannon Sharpe's sex life at age 56 with that of a 19, 20-year-old. It's just not a good look for someone who's employed by Disney.
All right.
And he is absolutely correct. And this is a major point that I'm going to make in my video, is that regardless if he is innocent or guilty, this is a bad look, and it's going to hurt him either way because of this lifestyle that he chooses to live. And seemingly, and I'm going to there's also this lawsuit that's going on actually has brought up another defamation lawsuit that was filed on him by another woman before this lawsuit, right? And so whether he's innocent or guilty, you're going to start seeing people that you're going to see brands, networks, and people that give him all this money that makes him rich. You're going to see these people start to pull away from him. So whether he's innocent or guilty, he's still going to lose money, even if it's not by paying the alleged victim in this lawsuit. He's in a lose-lose.
Aji, what are they saying on social media? What's the response from people out there?
Well, I would say the kind of big elephant in the room is the fact that Tony Busby is on the case. So I think a lot of people still have the memory of the case he put out against Jay-Z and how that fell through. So I think a lot of people are waiting to kind of see if more information comes in, and some people just are writing off the whole case, saying that this is something we just saw a few months ago and nothing came of it. So I think a lot of people, with the text messages and with the controversy around Busby, they are kind of taking Shannon's word for it and not really believing that he did this. But again, more information could come out and that might change.
And when we take a look at Busby's career, and full disclosure, he's a friend of mine, but he's had a stellar career here in Texas. But there have been, issues with Jay-Z and the P. Diddy case, not so much as P. Diddy, but the Jay-Z case. And now people are questioning this, but his reputation has been stellar here in the state of Texas and defending elected officials.
Right. Yes, I agree with that. And I think the last few cases with them not being in the state of Texas and also being very, very high profile, like celebrities that people, a lot of people love or look up to. I think whenever you can poke holes into something, people are willing to poke those holes in them themselves. So with his record over the last few months, at least outside of the state, I think people are willing to be like, oh, we go to
And Shannon Sharpe has become a beloved figure of sorts as a result of his podcast and the audience that he's captured.
Yeah, he's sports unk. That's what they call him. He's the unk. So everybody looks up to him as like I don't like that adult male figure, older guy who, gives advice and talks about types of stuff. So I don't think people really want to see him associated with this, but he has been open with his sexual life over the last few months. So I don't think people are that surprised, especially with those text messages.
Who was Jack Sparrow, the actor who played Jack Sparrow?
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. This case reminds me so much of the Johnny Depp case. I mean, assuming these allegations are not true, right? It still took a major hit on Johnny Depp's career. Even when he went to trial and he was vindicated, he lost that role. And so my concern for Shannon Sharpe is, even if these allegations are not proven to be true, he may take a significant hit on that beloved stature that he has with the American public.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on The Factor.
Okay, I got another article that I'm about to pull up, and this is New York Post .com, basically going over is Shannon Sharpe's lawyers release X-rated text, name of accuser, and $50 million civil grape lawsuit. And I keep saying grape because I don't know how YouTube is going to act. And then I got a couple other videos that I got a couple of other videos that I am going to go through and show. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Anyway, let me bring this up. I apologize for the delay. All right. Come on. There we go. I apologize. I got too many I got too many tabs up. So anywho, let me go ahead and read this. Shannon Sharpe lawyers release X-rated Texas name of accuser and $50 million civil rape lawsuit. Alleged text messages between Shannon Sharpe and the woman accusing him of rape reveal X-rated missives she sent the NFL legend leading up to her bombshell $50 million lawsuit. The sexually explicit messages blasted out by Sharpe's legal team include the accuser allegedly telling the former Denver Bronco, age 56, she wants him to put a dog collar around her neck and tie me up and do bad things to me. Once again, I believe that this is a kinky, freaky deaky relationship. That's what it is. It's a kinky, freaky deaky relationship. What else could it be? Anybody? What else could this be? I'm seeing a pattern. Because she'll say, like, oh, well, he wanted to choke me and stuff like this. It seems like this is a normal part of their relationship, like some bondage mess going on. Like, and this is so crazy. And here's one thing I want to say though, is if you're going to be carrying on with somebody like this, once again, like I said, you got to be with somebody that you trust. You can't be with some young, immature girl engaging in behavior like this, because anything that people see coming out from the interactions between you and that person without context that they don't understand is always going to look bad. So she says she wants him to put a dog collar around her neck and tie me up and do bad things to me, said as the ESPN personality defense lawyer named the plaintiff, who is only identified as Jane Doe in legal papers. And he released the name, but none of these news, I don't think these news people are going to do what he did. They're going to skip over that. The trove of purported messages clearly indicate the nature of their relationship was consensual and sexual in nature, and in many cases initiated by her with specific and graphic requests. Sharpe's attorney, Lainey J. Davis, said in a statement. Look at Sharpe looking concerned. Okay. The civil action was filed in Nevada State Court and claims the Hall of Famer committed sexual assault against the accuser near the end of 2024 and the start of 2025 during a rocky consensual relationship that lasted for about 2 years. And that's another thing. If a relationship like that gets rocky, I think all sexual conduct needs to stop at all. And I remember I was in a clubhouse space and I was talking to people like that do like the bondage and stuff like that. And it's a lot of communication and people being on the same page that goes into that. You know, there's extra parameters and things in place to make sure it is fully consensual, because when engaging with things like tying people up and certain things like anal sex, people can get seriously hurt. Things can be taken the wrong way. People that have a certain fetish, like they want to be dominated. Where is the line drawn in the sand when you know that this person means no for real or yes for real, right? You just gotta be careful with stuff like this. When I read about this relationship, it's just insane to me. Sharp allegedly threatened to kill her, manipulated and control her, and repeatedly threatened to brutally choke her and violently slap her, according to the legal papers. But Sharp categorically denies the allegations and is ready for a legal fight, Davis said, pointing to the alleged texts as proof his client did nothing wrong. Davis said Sharp and the accuser had consensual sex until January 2nd, 2025, the day after she allegedly asked for $25,000 per cheek in a message. And so that's the part where it gets confusing, because she says it was not consensual in 2024, but in 2025 she's sending these explicit text messages, right? So here's one of the messages. It says, they say, "I know you miss this big juicy ass. 25K for each cheek," she allegedly wrote, according to the 44 pages of text Sharp's legal team released. Before that message, Sharp wished her a happy new year and said if she sent him 50,000, she could come over to his house. Another alleged message states. Now, Jane Doe's lawyer hit back at the released text, claiming all the purported messages took place before the alleged assault. Other adult-only texts released by Sharp's team included when Jane Doe allegedly texted Sharp a photo of a woman tied up in a compromising position and wrote on March 5th, 2023, "Tie me up like this and F me," with Sharp replying, "If I knew how to, I would." Oh man, yeah, they was into that. They was in that freaking good. It was crazy, man. She then allegedly wrote back, "It's okay. I have handcuffs. We can stick to those for now." Okay, so it is suggesting that she's into this stuff. She's pulling him in. It's not just she being manipulated. If you're going by these text messages, it doesn't seem like she's being manipulated to these things. It seems like some of these things are her idea. Now, it says here the two allegedly exchanged kinky messages again on January 31st, 2024, when the accuser allegedly wrote, "That just got my wet. Tie me up and do bad things to me." To which Sharp then wrote, "Cuff up." Jane Doe allegedly wrote, "You still have my handcuffs?" I don't know why I'm saying, it probably sounds weird as hell me doing that. "You still have my handcuffs? I want like some hardcore BDSM action though, and feeling kind of freaky lately." Can you imagine being like the person that gotta go through these text messages? I'd be cracking up. I'm like, this is insane. They're some freaks. She additionally wrote, "I want to be abused, daddy." That was on March 14th. "And I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me," on October the 9th, according to the alleged messages. The two also talk about her desire to have a baby with him, including allegedly writing, "Only if you put that baby gravy in me." Have I heard that before? Baby gravy. "Then you can do whatever you want to me. And I literally ate so much food, I look like I'm pregnant with your big black baby." And this is crazy. I'm getting some from this relationship. It's like kinky, BDSM, old man with the young girl, but it's also a little bit of race play in here, right? Because why would she say your big black baby? Unless she calling his thing the big back baby, but she says she want the baby gravy. So it's like she's attempting to get pregnant. But I don't know if to take that seriously. Is this a part of their race play kinky BDSM? Sharp responded, if I still F with you around my B-Day in 24, you can IUD out. That's diabolical. So he's saying if I'm still messing with you around my birthday, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the club up. Wow. Okay. Says here, Sharp wrote on February 29th, 2024, that the woman's desire for the baby is a kink for her, which led the accuser to allegedly reply, you're the one has a breeding kink. And I mean, I only want a baby if it's from your blank. I think I'd be a good mom. Wow. Then she wrote, look, then it's saying that allegedly she also wrote, I've always wanted a black baby. What? Wow, this some weird, man. They freaky. The pair appeared to run into problems when Sharp was heard apparently having sex on Instagram Live in September 2024, according to Jane Doe's lawsuit. And maybe that's what this is about. A lover scorned. He went on Instagram with a woman that clearly was not her, and she had a problem with it. Now, in a series of alleged messages on December 26, 2024, she demanded a formal apology and continued to ask for one before Sharp wrote at one point, I've already apologized. Stop playing childish games. Davis, Sharp's lawyer, said the evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios initiated by the plaintiff. So far, I can see that. They forgot to add freaky deaky fantasy scenarios. Now, the retired tight end, I'm gonna laugh every time I hear that because I got a video showing what Sharp likes to do in the bedroom, and it came out of his own mouth. The retired tight end and the plaintiff met in 2023 at a Los Angeles gym when the woman was just 20 years old, according to the civil complaint. The woman's lawyer, Tony Busby, said in a statement that the text messages were a mere distraction by Sharp's legal team. Every text that Mr. Sharp's counsel released today, purportedly from Jane Doe, are dated prior to the alleged brutal assault set forth in Jane Doe's case, he said in a statement. Those texts were obviously released in an effort to distract the public's attention from the allegation in Jane Doe's lawsuit. It won't work. All right. Oh my God. I'm glad I read that though, because of course the news is not going to put up all those text messages. That's too much for TV. That's too hot for TV. You please. They'll unplug the damn cameras and the power to the studio if you was to put that up on air, all that freaky deaky nasty language. Insane. Anywho, moving right along. And pull back up my YouTube. Oh, okay. Let me share screen again. Boom. I got a couple of videos in here. I don't know if I'm going to play them all. Yeah, I don't need to play that or that because on this other news article, they actually share the audio on that actual news page. And so that way I don't have to go back and forth between YouTube. Let's see. Okay, cool. Now, this is from a interview nightcap that Shannon Sharpe and Ocho do. And on this particular one, they had Deion Sanders on there, and they having fun. You know how guys sit around and talk about like, the women that they had. And one of the things that was alleged in this sexual assault case or rape case is that Shannon Sharpe went in the back door. And when I heard that, I was like, well, I think for him that's normal. He kind of always has suggested that that's the way that he likes to do it, you know? And it reminded me of this interview.
They're going to do it anyway. They're going to do
We
it
want to
anyway. Just the
raise
fact
like
About like, do you have a problem with a woman farting around you? And then Shannon Sharpe says a woman actually farted on him.
you just said, "Mama farted." You just said, "Mama farted," and I hate
Yeah,
for
I'm
you
sure
to
she
put your
did
mom
because
out there like that.
I can smell it. I can smell it. I remember. Mama, rest in peace. I can smell it. But she was staying. It came from somewhere, and it wasn't me.
But you ain't
So
no
I'm
good.
sure she did it.
You ain't no good.
That,
dog.
that's
I'm just
my
saying,
baby.
I've never, I haven't experienced
I've never
that.
experienced that.
Knock on wood, thank you, because that's not gonna go well.
Yeah, I never.
I'm gonna tell. It happened one time. I'm gonna tell the story another day
Yeah.
in time.
That
how
girl
that happened,
farted.
but
She farted
anyway,
on you?
huh?
I mean, knowing you was it during? Knowing you was during something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that. Do that.
Yeah, it happened.
Chad, how did I know
Yo,
that?
I don't know.
Hey,
You know
check
it.
this out. Since you done got it, this what happened. We were having sex, and this is an absolute true story. I put this on. I put this on everything. I was having sex with this young lady.
Yes,
hold
sir.
on. Paint the whole picture now. Don't cheat me.
Yeah, don't cheat
cheat
me
me.
either.
Okay,
I want
We're
details.
having sex.
Details.
We're having
Position.
sex.
Position.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the bad guy.
Oh Lord Jesus, she ain't do it when she wrong.
See, he just said he the back door man. He the back door man. That's what he do. That's what he like to go up in the back door. And he finna say, he got farted on going in the back door.
Oh no, she
Let's
did.
go, boy.
No, she did.
That is out. And what I'm about to say is 1,000%
Talk to
true.
me, baby.
So she passed
Yes,
gas.
sir.
She said, excuse
Doing?
me. I said, that's all right. Do it. Yes, she passed gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then she
sex.
looked back and say, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
How she do it?
Time. She said, excuse me. I said,
you
that's
right.
all right,
I'ma take
baby. I
mine
generally
off,
make
too.
them
How
shit.
she do it?
Hey, she said, excuse me. I said, that's all right, baby. I generally make them shit. Ooh. It kept going. I'm with it. I'm hell with it, time. I'm hell with it, time.
Hey, come on,
Both of y'all
baby.
nasty, man.
Hey, talk.
Both of y'all
Hey.
nasty, dog.
Hey,
And there you have it. That's crazy. I actually got another article too that I'm emphasizing the kink and the freakiness of this relationship because it goes to my point as to why Shannon Sharpe is a victim. And so bear with me. I actually have a another article. Here we go. Now, this is from page6.com, and it's going back over. This is another thing going over the text messages this one is breaking down the text messages, but it's something in this article that wasn't in the other one that I read. So, according to the text messages released by Sharpe's legal team on March 5th, 2023, Doe allegedly texted Sharpe a picture of a woman tied up in a compromised position and said, "Tie me up like this and F me," to which he replied, "If I knew how to, I would." We read that in the last article. Also, this one, she alleged to write back, "It's okay, I have handcuffs. We can stick to those for now." We can stick to those for now. I want to be in that position right now. Okay, cool. Now here we go. This the part that I didn't it wasn't in the last article, so I wanted to read it off of here. When Sharpe told her it was too late now, Doe allegedly responded, "I guess I just gonna have to F myself in the ass with my dildo then." On March 14th, 2023, she allegedly sent him, "I want to be abused, daddy." On April 21st, 2023, she allegedly texted, "I'm getting your name tattooed on me in like an hour, by the way. Just thought I'd let you know." Okay. Sharpe message back, "In the font of my cognac," to which she allegedly responded, "Yes, daddy, on my neck. If I can get it, can I maybe be your baby mama?" And so there's another weird thing that's going on. It's kind of like this daddy-daughter kink, but at the same time, she wanted to be the baby mama. Because we also read in the other article, she said that she always wanted a black baby. Like, what is going on? Shout out WPJ. He's nasty. It is. They some freaks. There's some kinky crap going on. Some kinky crap going on. And it's going to lead to why Shannon Sharpe is a victim. It's going to all make sense. Doe allegedly messaged the former tight end. God, it's almost like they're putting this in these articles to be funny. Like, these journalists, you can't tell me they ain't got a sense of humor. Doe allegedly messaged the former tight end on October 7th, 2023. "Call me. I feel like effing with you." Oh my God. Yeah, that girl turned out. 2 days later, she allegedly sent, "I want you to put the dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me." Okay. And this is going back over some of the stuff we read in the last article, which is she asked him to put that baby gravy in her. She says, "Okay, put that baby gravy in me, then you can do whatever you want." And she says she ate so much food, she looks like she's pregnant with his big black baby. So that's that race play stuff. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Now, in this next article, I'm gonna pull up. This is going to be. I'm gonna pull up the the audio that was released. Where is it? I had it. You know what? I'm not gonna even worry about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it because I got it over on I got it on YouTube. So I'm gonna just pull it up. I'm gonna just pull it up over there. Alrighty then. Boom, bum, bum, bum. Click here, click here, click here, click here. All right. This is gonna be from It's gonna be from TMZ. Share clip.
For you an exclusive audio clip, a phone conversation that Shannon and his accuser had. And now today we've gotten our hands on a new audio clip where Shannon once again seems to, today we've gotten our hands raping this woman on.
And I apologize for the internet troubles. Here we go.
Multiple occasions. Now, yesterday we played for you an exclusive audio clip, a phone conversation that Shannon and his accuser had. And now today we've gotten our hands on a new audio clip where Shannon once again seems to physically threaten the woman. Take a listen.
Coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you did what you did to me.
So yeah, as the accuser says in the clip, it's not a great look for Shannon. But according to Shannon's legal team, this is essentially how Shannon and his accuser talked. They sent out roughly, it's got to be close to 1,000 text messages on Tuesday that they say were sent from the accuser to Shannon. And in multiple of them, specifically one instance in general from October of 2023, the woman asked Shannon to be choked. In one specifically, she says, put a dog collar around my neck and choke me as we're engaging in intercourse. So Shannon's side of this is saying that merely this is the role and the nature of the conversations that these two had. They're saying that there was no sort of violent intentions, and merely this is what this woman asked for repeatedly, and that's why Shannon is seen and I guess heard using this language multiple times. So that's, I guess, where they're standing. I think the other criticism from Sharpe's camp towards Busby is, why was this being recorded? They would like to know why was she doing that? Because then they believe that plays into their narrative that she perhaps was setting up some kind of blackmail scheme against him and was recording him in situation. How much he said, she said. Yeah. She's alleging that this crossed the line.
Yes, clearly, it had to be a setup, and that is why you have to be careful when you are out here and engaging with people. Okay, because the bottom line here is this, and I'm about to I'm getting towards the end of my show where I will reveal why I say Shannon Sharpe is a victim. And he is a victim. He is a victim of himself. That's what he is. He is definitely someone I would categorize as a womanizer. Okay. Now, being a womanizer may not be illegal, but it often invites chaos and turmoil into one's life. Engaging in superficial relationships and pursuing multiple partners without genuine regard can lead to emotional instability, broken trust, and damaged reputations. Which you see here, his reputation is being damaged, not just for others, but for oneself as well. He's a victim of himself. Now, while it might seem like a way to satisfy fleeting desires, it ultimately fosters a cycle of loneliness, guilt, and regret. Ironically, the womanizer is often a victim of their own actions, trapped by their own behavior that undermines meaningful connections and personal growth. Instead of empowering them, this lifestyle can diminish their self-respect and create a pattern of chaos that ultimately hinders true happiness and fulfillment. Let's close that. Now share another tab. I'm just having fun now. Now, here is a article that I found from neurolaunch.com, and it's the psychology of a womanizer, unraveling the mindset behind serial seduction. Okay. Here we go. I'm not going to even read all of this. As it pulled up. There we go. Now it says he moves through the world with a magnetic charm, leaving a trail of broken hearts in his wake. But what lies beneath the polished veneer of a serial seducer, the womanizer, a figure both romanticized and vilified in popular culture, has long captivated our collective imagination. But who is this enigmatic character really? What drives him to pursue conquest after conquest, seemingly immune to the emotional fallout left in his wake? Let's embark on a journey to unravel the complex psychology behind the womanizer archetype, peeling back the layers of charm and bravado to reveal the vulnerable core that often lies hidden beneath. The womanizer, more than just a smooth talker. Now, when we think of a womanizer, images of suave, charismatic man like Don Draper or James Bond might come to mind. James Bond. But the reality is often far more nuanced and frankly less glamorous. A womanizer, in essence, is someone who habitually engages in casual sexual relationships or flirtations with multiple women, often simultaneously and without emotional attachment. And that's important to remember because he was engaging with the woman that is suing him for the 50 million. A lot of their problems, and you can see in the news articles and in the criminal complaint, the woman brought up the fact that when that Instagram audio was dropped, when he says that he went live by mistake while having sex, you can see that that was an issue for this woman. She put it in her criminal complaint. And I have no doubt that that is one of the things that led, and it was probably other women that she might have caught him with that we don't know about, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the things that led to her doing this to him. And people think like oh no, nobody would do that. People do that stuff, man. When you messing around with people's heart and just sleeping around with people carrying on this way, I'm telling you, it's some crazy people out there. The article continues as it's a behavior pattern that's more common than you think. In fact, studies suggest that up to 23% of men have engaged in some form of infidelity in their relationships. But here's the kicker. Not all cheaters are womanizers, and not all womanizers are cheaters. It's a subtle but important distinction that often gets lost in the mix. One of the biggest conceptions about womanizers is that they're all confident, self-assured alpha males. In reality, many are driven by deep-seated insecurities and fears. It's like they're wearing an emotional armor, deflecting genuine connections with a shield of charm and superficial interactions. And we saw that with him and this young lady. By the text messages, you could like tell in the text messages between Shannon Sharpe and this young lady, it was that daddy-daughter complex. And even in the audio, he was like a big black man choking a small white woman, right? And you can see where what this article just said is very true. Now, this is peeling back the layers. The this psychological profile of a womanizer. So what makes a womanizer tick is not just about an insatiable libido or a love for the thrill of the chase. The psychology behind this behavior is complex and multifaceted, often rooted in a combination of personality traits and past experiences. One of the most common characteristics of a womanizer is narcissistic personality traits. These individuals often have an inflated sense of self-importance and a deep need for admiration. I think Shannon Sharpe definitely felt that way because he's much older than this woman. It would be very easy for her to look up to him. Not only him being older, but also being successful. Each new conquest serves as a validation of their self-worth and desirability. It's like they're constantly seeking applause from an audience of potential partners. But beneath their grandiose exterior often lies a fear of intimacy and commitment that would make even the most dedicated nice guy look like a hopeless romantic. Womanizers may use their serial dating behavior as a way to avoid the vulnerability that comes with deeper emotional connections. It's safer to keep things surface level. After all, no risk of getting hurt if you never let anyone in right. And we know that that's just simply not true, because he's having a very casual relationship with this woman, and it didn't stop him from getting hurt. And it's really hurting him. It's hurting his reputation, and it's going to hit his pockets. Like I said earlier, he's in a lose-lose position. Even if he wins the lawsuit, he's still going to lose money because other companies and brands are going to get as far away from him. They're going to get as far away from him as possible. Matter of fact, she's suing him for 50 million. It would be cheaper for him to pay her 50 million if you take into account all the money he's going to lose from contracts and being dropped. And that's why a lot of these guys, when they get caught up, they like to just pay the money, because you're going to lose more money not trying to pay. Before I get to my final statement, I found a website called allure.com, which lists 28 sex fetishes and kinks. And I want to go over that before I do my final statement, which will say why I feel like Shannon Sharpe is a victim of himself and how he moved wrong. Because not only is he a womanizer, but he's also a person with particular kinks. Some would identify as unusual sexual practices. And I just don't feel like you can be a womanizer going around and participating in these kinks with just anybody. It's important to have somebody you can trust. It don't have to be somebody you about to marry, but it definitely can't just be anybody. Like, he met this girl at a gym. This is a young girl at the gym, and he just met her and he's doing these things with her. Who's to say she was mature enough for that lifestyle he was trying to introduce her to? It's crazy. So anyway, let's go over these 28 sex fetishes and kinks. Number 1 is impact play. Now, impact play means spanking, flogging, paddling, and other forms of consensual striking. Spanking is often an easy and safe BDSM entry point that leads to exploring more, such as purchasing a crop to use with a partner. Impact play can range from a light slap on the bum to a crack of the whip. And in the text messages, she was talking about being tied up. In the text messages, the alleged text messages, she allegedly sent him a picture of a woman tied up and said, "Hey, I want you to do this to me." Now, it says here, as with any kink or fetish, it's important to negotiate boundaries beforehand. Safety and comfort are the most important aspects of kink, as Says Renee, do your homework before practicing impact play. Discuss the level of intensity you enjoy or your partner enjoys. Choose a safe word to shut down the action on a dime if need be, and learn what parts of the body are safe to impact. Stick with the meatier areas like the ass and thighs, and avoid less protected areas where organs live, like the lower back. And that's another thing. When he's engaging in this lifestyle with these women, is he does he know to do these things, or is he just going around because he got money and success and just engaging in these acts, not knowing how to correctly live this lifestyle? And someone said that he didn't make this girl even sign an NDA, so he didn't even do the simplest of things. Number 2 is role playing. You do not have to stop playing make believe when you grow up. Role playing means acting out a sexual fantasy with your partner or partners, either once or as part of an ongoing fantasy. Now, we could see that Shannon Sharpe's lawyers are suggesting that those text messages, the audio that was released about him choking her, they're saying that this is a part of their role playing. Like, it's an ongoing fantasy. So at any point when they talk or have a conversation, they're always in that mode of role playing. So in that relationship, it may not be an on or off switch. Okay. Now the article continues as while it can be a fetish or kink within itself, it's also a healthy way to act out other fantasies. For instance, if you have a medical fantasy and are aroused by doctors, you probably don't actually want your doctor to get sexy with you, because that would be creepy and abusive. The beauty of role playing is that you can have your partner dress up as a doctor and indulge your fantasy consensually in your own home. Number 3 is foot fetish. Now, a foot fetish involves a desire to worship feet through acts such as massage, kissing, and smelling. As professional dominatrix goddess Aviva previously told Allure, it's an extremely common fetish. If your partner shares that they have a foot fetish, it may be initially jarring, but it's an opportunity for you to discuss a potentially exciting new part of your sex life together. And if you're into it, just think of all the foot massages headed your way. Number 4, and this is something that has come up many times with your boy Shannon Sharpe. Number 4 is anal sex. Now, you don't need to have an anal fetish to engage in anal sex, but plenty of people do specifically get off on butt stuff. Now, anal play can range from adding a finger in the, during penetrative vaginal sex, to using butt plugs, to having anal sex with a penis or a dildo. All right, I don't want to read no more butt stuff. Number 5 would be lingerie. Okay, I don't need to read into that. Pretty sure the people know about that. Number 6 is group sex. Group sex is getting on with more than one person. If you ever swiped on Tinder, you're likely aware that many couples are searching for a third. Although group sex can mean more than just a threesome, an orgy. Oh man, the good old orgy is when a group of people of all genders have sex, while a gangbang typically refers to one person having sex with more than 2 members of another gender. Here we go. Number 7 is sensation play. Sensation play can refer to a huge range of activities based on receiving or withholding of different stimuli. For instance, one partner may blindfold the other to deprive them of their sense of sight, a form of sensory deprivation, or they may drag an ice cube along their skin, a form of sensation play known as temperature play. And I think, reading that, I think that's something we commonly see in movies. I wonder, is that the same like when people do the candle wax? Number 8 is orgasm control. Now, edging in which the submissive partner is brought to the brink of climax and then forced to stop, often done repeatedly, is an example of orgasm control. Boom. Number 9, which is bondage, which was brought up in the allegations, the text messages being released with Shannon Sharpe and Jane Doe. Bondage is when one partner restrains the other. You can bind your partner using objects you already have around, such as a belt, or purchase specialty kink items like handcuffs or hair accessories turned wrist ties. To engage in restraint play safely, establish boundaries and a safe word, and emphasize consent and communication at every step, and start slow. Start slow. Number 10 is psychological play. Now, some of the most intense sexual play takes place in the mind. Renier refers to psychological power play, a type of BDSM, as mind control. So, psychological play involves implementing a sexual power exchange. Humiliation play, for example, might involve a submissive partner getting off on being called names. And you know what? I see some of that in those text messages and that audio between Shannon Sharpe and his accuser. Now, consensual threats are an example of psychological play. One example is a dom warning a male submissive with a foot fetish that he'll have to lick her feet if he doesn't fall in line and do exactly as she says. And I think that might be a part of them. Like when he said, I'll have to choke you in public, I think that was a part of them role playing and doing psychological play. I don't have no proof of that. I just think that. That's my opinion. Number 11 is voyeurism and exhibitionism. I'm getting tongue tied. Voyeurism, or obtaining sexual pleasure from watching others who are naked or having sex, is more common than you think. Of course, as with every other fetish, engage in voyeurism consensually. For example, at a sex party where a couple has given you permission to watch. Watching someone without their permission is never acceptable. Hope everyone knows that. The flip side of voyeurism is exhibitionism, which means achieving sexual pleasure by allowing others to watch you. Okay, I get it. Like the yin yang. It's the sexual enjoyment of showing off. If you like to get down at a sex party in public spaces or even at home with the curtains open, you may be an exhibitionist. Let's see. This other one is it's a popular one. Everybody talks about cuckolding. Cuckolding is you may have heard the term cuck thrown around as an alt-right slur. It's unfortunate since cuckolding is a common kink that anyone can enjoy. Traditionally speaking, in gendered terms, cuckolding is when a husband watches as his wife, the hot wife, has sex with someone else. The bull. The husband, aka the cuck, may get to watch, but he is emasculated and not allowed to participate. It's often a form of erotic humiliation. The female version of a cuck is known as a cuck queen. And however, all genders can enjoy being the cuck, the hot wife, and the bull. 13 is erotic humiliation. Erotic humiliation lets you reclaim embarrassment by getting off on it. Humiliation play is a consensual power exchange that is very typical fetish. Number 14 is spectrophilia. Spectrophilia refers to having a thing for ghosts because sometimes humans aren't worth it. I never heard of this one. It usually involves the fantasy of a spirit, but sometimes people believe they actually have sex with one at night or while they sleep. Traditionally, a succubus refers to a female sex ghost, and an incubus is a male ghost that has sex with humans as they sleep. You know what? I remember Marlon Wayans had that movie Haunted House, and that's what happened to them. The ghost slept with both of them, him and his girlfriend. Number 15 is dominance and submission. Now, dominance and submission refer to a consensual, erotic power exchange between two or more people. Although it may sound scary due to consent and safety precautions, Kinkster engage in a DS scene can be safer than a vanilla hookup. Anytime that we are talking about power control, that is the safest kind of sex that partners can have, because there's so much communication, trust, and vulnerability built into these kinds of exchanges and sexual experiences, says sex therapist and author of Reclaiming Pleasure, a sex positive guide for moving past sexual trauma and living a passionate life, Dr. Holly Richmond. I hope I don't mess this word up. Number 16 is autonophilia, and it is spelled AUTONEPIOPHILIA. Now, that means adult babies. These harmless beings like to wear a crinkly diaper and often have a mommy or other nurturing dominant figure take care of them. It's okay if it's not your thing, but as kinksters like to say, don't yuck someone else's yum. I didn't know people did that. This next one is Europhilia. Europhilia is a fancy name for piss play, golden showers, and water sports. Shout out to R. Kelly. Often during piss play, there is a degree of domination and submission. For example, you may see a businessman going to his dominatrix to get peed on after a long day of barking orders. Others integrate the kink into their romance relationships. My partner, this is someone speaking. My partner got me into wing on each other early on in our relationship, says, how you pronounce her name? Anushaka Lee. She's at, it seems, I believe this is a woman speaking, says, I remember feeling a mixture of thoughts and emotions, all the taboos and stereotypes of it being a dirty act for dirty old man, combined with feeling of intense excitement and arousal. Yeah, I don't know if that's a man or a woman that said that. But anywho, I think that's a gender neutral statement that was made. So it doesn't matter if I got it wrong. Number 18 is sadism and masochism. Now, sadism refers to a person, a sadist, who gets off on inflicting pain. Their necessary counterpart is masochist. Is a masochist. Those who get off on receiving erotic pain. As always, S&M relationships require consent from all parties involved. Once all parties feel enthusiastic about what's about to go down, S&M can look like impact play, erotic humiliation, or dripping hot wax on each other. I knew the hot wax was going to come up. And it's next, 19, wax play. Wax play involves dripping hot candle wax on your lover. Not only can wax play be extremely hot, but it involves the use of romantic lighting. Oh, that's so nice. Number 20 is vorarephilia. Vorarephilia is the infamous cannibal kink. It means getting turned on by fantasies of eating someone, and the subject has made headlines this year due to sexual assault allegations against actor Armie Hammer. Oh man, I gotta save that. I gotta save that for later. Look that up. I'll go ahead and put that in another tab. Okay, cool. Of course, literally killing and eating someone is wrong. However, kinks and fetishes are already stigmatized. We don't need to pathologize. I need some water. My mouth is getting dry. We don't need to pathologize this one if someone is doing no harm. Okay. I don't feel like reading all that. Don't eat people in real life, just fantasize about it, is basically what they were saying. 21 is queerophilia. Queerophilia is one of those kinks that sounds more far out than it is. It simply refers to an attraction to hands. Oh, okay. 22 is pregnancy. Yes, pregnancy can be the result of sex, but it can also turn people on. Pregnancy kinks include a desire to get someone pregnant, sometimes known as a breeding fetish. That was also in the Shannon Sharpe and the accuser's text messages, alleged text messages. And it's also an attraction to pregnant people. 23 is tentacles. I've seen that before, like when you go down that porn rabbit hole. Tentacles. If you've ever gone into a porn search black hole, you may have stumbled upon anime tentacle porn, and yes, it's okay to find it arousing. Don't worry, you don't need an actual octopus to enjoy tentacle play. There are lovely sex toy companies such as Bad Dragon who make body safe silicone tentacle, dildos for you. Cool. 24 is age play. Age play is easy to be creeped out at, but it's so common that you don't even realize it. If a lover has ever called you baby, you've engaged in age play. But for people who really get into age play, it may look more like daddy dom baby girl situation where the role plays are more pronounced. That was also seen in the Shannon Sharpe and his accuser's relationship. Age play. They had a lot of kinks in that one relationship. That's crazy. And that's why that relationship was so kink complex. I just don't feel like the proper boundaries were placed in that situation. 25 is stranger play. If you ever hooked up with a stranger, perhaps even before getting their name, congrats, you've tried stranger play. Stranger play is one of my favorites. When I was younger, I convinced myself that women found me attractive more for my personality than my body. So a total stranger who doesn't know me engaging in a specific sexual scene is really affirming, says Billy Procida, host of the Man Whore podcast. 26, well, number 26. That's a lot of kinks, man. Entophilia. I think I pronounced that. Gag warning. Entophilia is a sexual fetish in which one gets aroused by vomit. Wow. People get aroused by vomit. Yes, it's real and it's more common than you think. A lighter version of this may play out as finding it a turn on if someone gags during a, BJ. Number 27 is clismophilia, which is arousal from enemas. Some folks, usually those who enjoy receiving anal sex, will prep before with the enema to make sure the mess is minimal. A trick also used on porn sets. However, others find enemas themselves arousing. This can be part of a larger medical fetish and may involve a fantasy of a doctor using an enema on you. 28 is electrostimulation. According to Richmond, electrostimulation is a pretty common kink. It involves using electricity for sexual partners, and yes, it can be done safely using kinky toys such as through a violet wand. for sexual gratification. A violet wand. I don't know. That wasn't on Harry Potter. I know that. And that is the end of that. That was a lot to read too. 28 kinks and fetishes. That is crazy. Oh my God. Anywho, I'm about to wrap this up with my conclusion of Shannon Sharpe is a victim. I've already laid out why I think he is indeed a victim, but he is a victim of himself. I think he's a womanizer. I'm just gonna be honest. It's not illegal to be a womanizer, but it will get you in trouble. And when you mix that with kink play, it is very dangerous. And here's my closing argument. And this is where I think Shannon Sharpe went wrong. Now, choosing the right partner is crucial when you have a kink or unusual sexual habits because mutual consent, trust, and understanding are essential for a healthy and respectful experience. Entering into such relationships without clear communication can lead to misunderstandings, emotional harm, or even legal trouble. It's important to avoid mixing a womanizer's mentality, characterized by superficiality and lack of genuine connection. Do not mix this with complex or unconventional sexual interests, as this combination often results in careless behavior that disregards boundaries. For example, Shannon Sharpe's recent legal situation, where he was sued and faces sexual assault allegations, underscores how neglecting responsible and respectful conduct in dating can lead to serious consequences. His case highlights the importance of being mindful, respectful, and honest with partners, especially when engaging in unconventional sexual practices to protect oneself and others from harm or legal repercussions. In other words, you cannot mix responsibility with irresponsibility. In general, people, you're a womanizer, no connection. You can't mix that with these kink plays that he clearly was trying to engage in allegedly. You can't mix the two. It's just a bad combination. Whew. Anyway, I appreciate you all. If you're watching live or on the replay, go ahead, like the video, thumbs it up. For more content, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, feel free to share the video with a friend. I appreciate you all. I am climbing towards 100,000 subscribers, and I appreciate all of the support. Thank you for tuning in. This was Shannon Sharpe is a victim of himself. I will catch you all later. Peace.
Risky behavior.